jingle bell rock. Yeah. Bah, humbug. Um, just a little bored here. Just thought I'd do this. Just checking to see that I've gone live itself. Because I know sometimes connecting straight over to YouTube doesn't show live right away. But I'm hoping this is where it's going. There it is. All right. Well, it's what? December 13th? Am I right here? Yes. Saturday the 13th. Interesting. Sometimes they usually go Saturday the 14th, right? The day after Halloween. If it was a Friday the 13th. But anyways, just a little bored. I thought I'd come on here. Maybe something I might do on Saturdays right now for taking care of my boredom. Maybe for peace of mind type sake. It doesn't really matter. I just thought I'd come on, talk a little bit. Give her the jabber for your luminosity of porosity. Now, if you really understand what I said, then yeah, okay, then a little smarter than the average elf, but not dumb enough to actually know. Let's see here. Temperatures here have been like crazy lately. Like, wake up some mornings and it's like super cold. Like, for instance, Sunday morning at about what is it, from about midnight till about 6 a.m. It's going to go from -10 down to -12. It's just the temperature. Okay. Excuse me there. Now, there is some wind, so it does give some wind chill. So let's take the coldest here. So between 3 a.m. and let's say 6 or 7 a.m., it'll be -12, but it'll feel like -21 with the wind chill. That's how it's going to be here. It's a very cold one, and apparently, was it yesterday or the day before? Probably 2 days ago. I got information from somebody in BC, and I'll say the top half, because I don't know exactly how far north. How far further north than Whistler it was, but their daytime high without wind chill was -51. And I thought Fort McMurray in Alberta was cold when I'm hearing, daytime temperatures of minimum -30. And I know they can go up to -50, even 60 temperatures before even wind chills. That's nuts. And it's heading this way to the Great Lakes region. Now the question is, when it comes and hits Manitoba, is it going to go through the Great Lakes down to Michigan and go under Lake Erie and Lake Ontario? Or is it going to stay north of Lake Superior and the Georgian Bay area and just go across northern Ontario until it dips down towards Montreal and Quebec and give them their first ice snow storm of the season? Because we always know Montreal and Quebec area, they always get an ice storm every winter season. At least one, if not two. And with the temperatures being as cold as they are and as much snow as we've been getting recently, it takes us back many decades ago when we used to get snow sometimes before Halloween, October 31st. Because I can tell you, as a child, I had to dress up in a full snowsuit to go trick-or-treating 2 times before I was a teenager. Excuse me here, I got this tickle in my throat. I would say hand the mic over to somebody else, but there's nobody else here but me. I saw somebody pop in quick and take a look. Who cares? Could be one of my haters, but doesn't matter. They give me the few free seconds that they do, so what? Yeah, I'm coughing. I don't know which one of the two things is giving me this cough. The temperature, or that I still have. Well, I guess I shouldn't have laid back like that in the chair. I'll sit up for a moment. I might have to mute the mic for a moment to blow my nose, just in case that's the issue, because what's happening, my sinuses have a slow drip into the back of the throat against the back part of my tonsils. Now, sometimes it tickles there on the skin, and it makes you do that involuntary inhale that then creates a cough. Sorry, just like that one. So then, sometimes in order to clear that type of bit of mucus, you need to blow your nose. So that way it pulls it out the other way, instead of letting it go down your throat. I don't know, I got a, 20, 30 ounce cup, I say, and I fill it with whatever liquids that I have, not alcohol, but mostly iced tea, and then occasionally Pepsi Zero. I could probably drink regular Pepsi. Can't drink regular Coke anymore. I used to be an avid regular Coke drinker. And then, because I was getting borderline diabetes, I cut back and went to diet pops. And even still today, I can't get how people can drink Diet Coke. Like, that stuff, it just tastes nasty. Now, Diet Pepsi I can drink. That's not a problem. Diet Dr. Pepper, Diet 7-Up, I think ginger ale as well. I can't remember. No, Sprite, it was only Sprite Zero I had. I didn't have the Diet. But Pepsi Zero is not a problem. Coke Zero is okay, but because it's not coming in a glass, the cans and the bottles, they vary depending on where the batch mixture of when they create it, put it together, where it is. Because they vary in taste. Sometimes that they're just horrid, it's too much carbon. But then again, like I said, with this big cup, I usually fill it half, if not full, with ice, and then I pour whatever into it and then drink it that way. Now, if I was ordering from a fast food place where, you get your paper cups, 16, 20 ounce cups, which is standard for about a medium, I believe it is. If they fill it with ice, I don't want the ice. I just want the full thing, because the prices are stupid and I'm not paying for ice. Which then you're only getting half the beverage at most in your cup, because they put that much ice into it. It's like those quenchers from a lot of places like, Dunkin', Starbucks, McDonald's, Tim Hortons. It's fruit flavor that you get, but they fill the damn cup with so much ice, you're not really getting much of a drink. If you took all the ice out, you find you're getting less than half. And you're paying $5-6 or more for that? Come on. I can grip and say whatever about all these things, because it's the honest truth. And it's like, we are seeing now more and more shrinkflation. We're seeing things get smaller and smaller, and the price is going up on top of it, which is ridiculous. Why? I don't know. But this is what companies think is best. Supply and demand. But the problem is quality. and the bang for your buck. We're finding less and less. They just put out a report about 2 weeks ago for, I don't know if it was all of Canada or just for the province of Ontario here, that next year, for a family of four, which is two adults, two kids, it is going to cost them almost an extra $1,000 a year for groceries. That's bare minimum on top of what they're already paying. So if they're already paying $1,000, well, actually, no, sorry, 1,200, almost full rent, or 1,600 a year on basic groceries, not spending on extra luxury items, um, keeping to anything that's on sale, not traveling too far to spend on gas. Now an extra 1,000 on top of it. Are you kidding me? That's like one person's monthly salary for a majority of the country. It's ridiculous. And no wonder even some of the average people that I know that have been here long enough to have a job, they have a second job so they can pay for things properly, and still are scrambling month to month to month, or paycheck to paycheck, even though they got two jobs. Now, understand if you just finish schooling and you can't get a job, so you get a part-time job, then you find another part-time job to, get your 40 hours plus every week. You're scrambling, but then you have no time for yourself, not much time for sleep. I'm sure those hours are affecting when you can sleep, when you can't sleep, when you wake up, when you don't wake up, when you actually make food for yourself, or you're buying fast food all the time, which becomes a vicious cycle, because then if you're buying fast food all the time, the average meal is not much less than $20 for each meal. And if you're having that 5 times a week, that's $100 you're spending just on lunch. Okay? Never mind dinner or breakfast. Some people skip breakfast altogether, and they buy themselves their $6, $7 cup of whatever it is from Starbucks. Like, come on, like, you really need that to buy that? No, you could probably make something better at home that's tasty and doesn't have to be all this fancy drink. No, doesn't want to go away. I don't know what's bothering me. Hang on here. I know I have it here. I just gotta find where I left it. Well, there it is. And I'm going to take a swig of this, and hopefully I'll coat my throat off. And you probably heard me shaking the liquid in a bottle. Well, that's cough syrup, and it's Buckley's. It tastes horrible. Oh, God. But you know what? It works. Out of all the cough syrups out there, I'll say that one's the best one, period. Especially complete, because it covers everything. Cold, flu, fever, and mucus breakdown. And I think there's something else that's written on the bottle, but I don't know. I don't care. So yeah, that's kind of part of the gist of a lot of things for that. I don't know what I'm doing for Christmas. It's probably going to be another partial horrible one. It could be one where I'm completely alone this time, but we'll see. I have my fingers crossed for days around Christmas to New Year's that my daughter will come by and stay at my sister's place. So at least then that way I can go up there if I need to by bus, or if they come and get me, whichever. I just am not going to be able to go get my daughter and be back in reasonable hours. Because to leave from where I am to actually meet her and pick her up, it takes me an hour and a half one way. It's another hour and a half to come back, so that's 3 hours there. Now, it depends where I am to get her. Now, if I'm leaving from work, that means I'm leaving from work approximately 3:30ish, and I have to get down to the GO train station, which is close to where I am currently living. That takes between an hour and a half, roughly, to get down from where I work by public transit. So now I've traveled that. Now I'm traveling out to where I would have to normally meet my daughter at. That's 3 hours one night. Another 3 hours back. That's a total of 6 hours. So typically, I'm out the door at 3:30 from work. 9:30, I'm getting home at the most. Not that it takes an hour and a half from the GO train station to get to here. It's we have to wait whatever time for the bus to come, then the bus to come here. But then she's not staying here. We would actually have to go to my sister's now, depending what's happening on what day it is. Because I mean, during Christmas holidays, her youngest, he's in hockey, so I don't know when his practices and his games are around that time, or any extra tournaments that he happens to be in that he wants to get into. Um, so all that takes into effect. Oh, okay, I'm getting. No, I'm just getting text messages from my mom here asking, telling me that she got rid of her car. So now she's taking public transit. She's, what, 73-ish right now, if I remember correctly. She was just telling me that about how she sold off her car, got rid of it, and now she's taking public transit. And then she expecting me to send a message for it, but I have my phone on mute, so I wouldn't know anybody sent me anything unless I turn it so that way it makes noise. I prefer the silent mute mode most of the time because I just don't want to hear the spam stuff coming in. It happens all of a sudden. It's like there'd be a couple of days where I get nothing but spam text messages or calls. And then I get the stupid Chinese call one, or sometimes it's a text message from the Chinese people, but it's all in Chinese. It's like, oh my god, they must have bought some new phone numbers and then spammed out. Because every time I get spam, I block the numbers. What do I need them for? And then she goes, "Are you sleeping?" It's like, no, I'm not sleeping. It's like, come on, no, I'm awake. It's like, I just didn't reply because I didn't see the message. But my mom is very impatient now. I don't know. And then she says, "Oh, how she feels bored and lonely." But then she's very impatient with things, and then her attention span has gone down a lot. And I think it's because people that she normally would have around her all the time, they're not there. Um, Either they're gone, they've moved, or they're dead, or they're in nursing homes, and she's not in those nursing homes. So she's waiting to get into a senior's place, but the first one that she went to is too much money. So there's no way she would go to it because she wouldn't have nothing to spend. They would take all her money. And that's just what I don't get. It's like, why is it? Um, and here in the GTHA, the Greater Toronto Hamilton area, which is basically from Hamilton in the west, coming across on the lakeshore, every little municipality, city, all the way out to, I think that it includes to Oshawa. Okay. And going as far north as Newmarket and Aurora, I think, and Guelph, like kind of that's the bubble. Um, Seniors living, I'm not talking about retirement homes or uh, special care nursing homes, uh, but just a seniors home like an apartment and you own a unit in there or rent a unit or whichever. It's probably more renting a unit. Um, they want a minimum of about $2,000 a month. Most seniors don't even make 1,000 on retirement money, old age security, and whatever else they might have saved or didn't save, so they don't have a RSP or some other retirement funds to rely on. They're relying mostly on whatever the government gives them. They don't even have the money, so they take all the money, and you get nothing. Like you don't even get $20 a week, never mind a month, right? It's just so stupid. And then some of the other places they want more because you got an actual apartment. They're not um, coming around to supervise you. They come and check in on you to see that you're okay. If you need anything, like they have a group of staff, and I think they have a couple of nurses that are down at the front desk area, like an office, in case anything. And I think they may have a doctor come in once a week, in case there's anything anybody wants to, so they don't have to go out. But then you have to wait for the hours of that which that doctor's in if they show up that day. Um, it's just nuts. It's just nuts. By the time I'm ready to retire, I don't think I'd be able to retire in Canada. To be honest, I really don't think so. Um, it's hard. We've had many different little snowfalls here and there. I think I took a couple of videos. I might have thrown them up on Facebook. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I know I took a couple pictures to show some people. Maybe I didn't show everybody. Some people are complaining, oh, it's too much snow. You know what? You live in Canada. You live in the northern hemisphere of America. And yes, we are part of America because everything from the South Pole all the way down for these big continents that I'm part of is known as the Americas. America is not just the United States. It includes Canada, includes Mexico, includes South America as well, with all the other Southern Latin Portuguese countries that are south of Mexico. Okay, even includes part of the Arctic Circle as well, and the North Pole. Okay. In this part of the Northern Hemisphere, yes, we have 4 seasons. Winter is one of them. I can feel the Buckley's working on the mucus, and the mucus is starting to break up. I'm getting little bits coming down to my throat from time to time here. But snow can happen anywhere in Canada, including near the city of Toronto, from September all the way to June. It can snow anywhere in between, to be honest. Has it? Probably not since maybe the 50s or the 60s for September or June. October, yes, I know when I was a child. How far into the spring, how late, which month? From what I remember, I'll say April. I don't remember if it did in May. If it did, I just don't remember it offhand. We've had Easters where it's been super warm where you wore a t-shirt and shorts. And we've had other Easters where you're still in your snowsuit, parka, and snow boots, bundling up with wind chills that are biting at your nose and your ears that are ready to give you frostbite. Okay? And April's being which means that there either was some snow or there was a lot of rain, and then with, I don't know, maybe a third of it sunny. Sometimes really warm, sometimes not. Octobers have been over the years, but I mean the last Actually, even before 2000, even in the 1990s. Um, October's been kind of a cold, rainy, a lot. Halloween has always been raining on Halloween. We haven't had too many since, I'll say, the mid 90s that it's been dry and reasonable, not too cold. Because I remember when my son was alive that we'd take him out, and the majority of them, except for one that I remember, was all rainy. Only one was dry. Now, there was a couple that I didn't go out with him, but I do remember that it was raining. I can't remember where he went, but him and his mother were picked up and taken to wherever to go trick or treating. So that's what it was. With my daughter, every year that I know of that I took her while she was with me, as we were still a family before I walked away from that marriage. Um, yeah, it rained. I don't think we had a dry one. Either it rained earlier in the day and it was wet for going trick or treating, or it rained uh, while trick or treating, or it rained just after trick or treating, but it was misty, wet on the ground while you were out. So here they plow the roads. Sometimes sidewalks are plowed when I get up early in the morning. Sometimes they're not, but they are by the time I get home. Now, sometimes they forget to come back again and salt the sidewalks again. They do it while they're plowing, but then it's not much salt that the sidewalk plow can hold, and it's a little carriage it pulls behind it. So he has to get frequently filled up. I don't know how many blocks, because sometimes they don't put down that much. And then there's areas where they don't put any down at all. Um, like there's a bus stop I walk to. Instead of going to my bus stop, I walk to a bus stop that's just ahead of mine, because there's a bus shelter there. Whereas my stop is just open, so the elements get to you. I go there so that way if it's raining, I don't have to have my umbrella fully up, and I don't have to worry about my umbrella breaking or folding out. And then so that I don't get covered totally in snow while standing there waiting for the bus to come. Because they tell you to be at least 5 minutes early before the bus arrives at the stop. But sometimes the bus driver comes 5 minutes early. So you need to be out there before that. So I'm usually 10 minutes early at my stop waiting for the bus. But there, the way that it's near the corner of an intersection, and where the sidewalks come to the corner, on one of them closer to the shelter, right in the middle of the sidewalk is a pole for the stop sign saying for the cars to stop for the four-way. Now where that is, no plow or can get around it, but the people come around to clean the snow for the bus shelter, so for the buses to stop at, and the city, or I shouldn't say the city, I should say the private snow removal company that does this area, because that's how it is now. It's no longer city run, but the city does give out the contracts for it. They don't. Nobody's removes the snow. Nobody's put salt there, anything like that. So it gets slippery. So I have to go out on the road, walk around it, and get up at the bus stop. Now there is a portion of the road where I walk from my true bus stop to this bus stop. There's no sidewalk on that side. There is on the north side of the road, but I don't cross over to go. I stay just along the road. There's a width for a bicycle type path painted that's on the road. I just walk in that area against the traffic, so the cars can see me come and I can see them coming perfectly. I don't have to worry about a car coming from behind me and clipping me. Now, occasionally I would have to do that when I get off the bus and I walk home, because I walk on the side with traffic where there's no sidewalk. Most of the cars usually go into the opposite oncoming traffic lane and pass me. Unless, of course, there's a car coming in, they slow down and wait. And I haven't had a car beat their horn at me yet. I'm waiting for that still. Um, but I do have my right to walk where I walk and to be given the right of way because I'm a pedestrian. Now I'm not in their way completely. I'm on small edge of the asphalt. I think it's like maybe a foot and a half wide. There's a little bit of gravel in some spots, and there's other spots where it's not. It's kind of a ditch, so you can't really see it because it's really overgrown with grass during summer months. Kind of see it a little bit now, but then when it gets covered all in snow, you don't even know where it is. You can't even tell where the edge of the road is or the curb, either on the other side. But that is what it is. I don't know what else. Um, but if you do like rewatch this, hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment that you watched, at least. Maybe I'll do this again next Saturday. Because in the afternoons I get kind of bored, and sometimes I don't even want to watch TV shows on Netflix or movies. I just kind of sit around. Sometimes I'm on my tablets, and I'm just playing whatever games on them, or having boring fun chatting with an AI and getting it all confused and pissed off. These are just some of the things I do right now. And then it's like, I did this because I was bored. I didn't have the motivation to want to do it. I could have done this earlier by a few hours, but I didn't. I wanted to make sure my laundry was done and everything put away. I had a little bit of dishes to clean up. I had grilled cheese sandwiches for lunch today. Wished I had tomato soup, but that's another thing. And we get back to that with food things and changes over the years. A can of Campbell's tomato soup is not the same as it used to be. I know they've taken out the red dye color that they used to use to make it look really nice, dark red tomato. Now I call it rosy. It's getting closer to pink than it is red. And then it gets lighter if you add milk to it instead of adding the water, which is a full can, of course, because it's concentrate, right? It's not the same one because I used to love having grilled cheese sandwiches with tomato soup. Because I would dip the grilled cheese sandwiches in the tomato soup instead of using. I'm one of those people who uses ketchup to dip my grilled cheese sandwiches in. Now, not everybody are connoisseurs of that. But I say each their own. And if you are going to comment, maybe tell me what you have instead of ketchup with your grilled cheese sandwiches if you do eat that. Okay? Now, I had two different types of cheeses, even though they were considered the same because they were both considered cheddar, but I had sliced processed cheese, which is thicker for grilled cheese sandwiches by Kraft. So processed cheddar cheese. And then I actually had a brick of old cheddar, and I sliced the old cheddar thin and put it on one sandwich to have a little bit of taste difference. But I could go with either one. That's just me, honestly. Yeah, I'm just looking at a couple things here. Nothing else. I don't really know what else to go on about because I'm just here. Nobody's popped in to chat at all. Or they pop in, they stay for a few bit, they listen, and they take off. So, with that being said, you know what? I think I'm going to end this, and I'm going to try. I'm not making a promise to come back on next Saturday. Maybe I might come on tomorrow if I'm too bored in the afternoon. I don't know. But anyways, as I usually